Hello and welcome to Talk a Good Game. It's a preview of West Ham United against Stoke City Monday night at the London Stadium. It could be the end for Stoke City in the Premier League. We're here to discuss the game. And at the end of the show, we'll tell you how you can get involved with a chance to win a signed Mikel Antonio shirt. If you don't want to hear the show, skip to the end and find out how to win the competition then. But Gonzo, as always, what's your thoughts on Stoke?
Obviously they're struggling. I looked at them because you look more closely at teams when they're coming up and you're about to play them. So the result against Tottenham looks a little bit more closer than it should be. They had very, very little possession in that one, looking at them. And then when I started looking at their teams and started looking at who they're playing and the personnel they've been playing, they look quite weak from wide areas. They seem to be playing Shaqiri tucked in behind Juve, who's a bit of a journeyman. Shawcross really should. I thought he was a better centre back than perhaps he is, but stats don't lie really. So I think they're letting things go at the back. I don't think they're performing as well as they should be. Joe Allen's meant to be a good midfielder, but they can't really get a grip on central midfield. They're getting very, very low possession. I think they're still bringing Peter Crouch off the bench every now and then as well. So and Zuma I always thought was going to be a good player, but he hasn't really been featuring as much as you might have thought as well, obviously, but I do think they've got a very, very talented goalkeeper.
We've also got a guest tonight, Nick from crosstowers.com. Go check out the website after the preview. Nick, what's your thoughts on the Potters?
Well, they're fighting for it now, aren't they? This is make or break for them. This is their final for me. You know what I mean? When you look at Stoke's fixtures, they've got Burnley at home, and Burnley ain't no mugs, as we know. Then they've got Liverpool away. Well, they ain't going to win. They get nothing there. They're going to get nothing at Palace. I think they're at home at Palace. And then Swansea. I think they shouldn't be where they are, Swansea. Stoke, sorry. I think they're a good team, but it's not gelled for them. Do you know what I mean? I'd have Allen in a breath, the midfielder. You know what I mean? For me, he's made for us. He plays so much passion and art, and he is a good player. But when the rest of them aren't playing around him like that, his head goes, you know what I mean? And you don't want to know. Like I said, the goalie's world class. England's number one for me. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I think they'll struggle a lot more than us. This means more to them now. I think we are going to be safe. We'll get the 3 points off them. They'll struggle. I'm only really worried about. I don't know. That Shaqiri can pop them in, can't he? I think. He's probably the only threat for me. Diaz, like Gonzo said, is a journeyman. He's always a pain in the ass. But I'm not scaring. I'm not scared at all Monday night. Not at all.
I've never really liked Stoke as a club for some strange reason, but I think that's because of Tony Pulis. Tony Pulis I just hate full stop, and he's always been associated with it. Even when he's gone, the smell of Tony Pulis is just around Stoke City, if you know what I mean. But I watched their last two games against Spurs and Arsenal, and I actually think they've been really unlucky to get no points out of both of them. I thought they played really well in both games. Arsenal, I thought they were holding their own and competing until they got a pen, which I don't think was a pen. Then against Spurs last weekend, they were playing on Saturday. We weren't playing until Sunday, so I watched that game. Again, I thought they were giving Spurs a real good run for their money. They got a little bit of luck with their goal when Lloris booted the ball off Doof. But 10 minutes later, this is Stoke's problem. Doof had the ball in possession, 4-on-1 Tottenham defenders. There's 4 Stoke players running. You had 3 players to aim for in the box, and he somehow picked out the Spurs defender. It was unbelievable. And that just sums Stoke up for me. It's sort of all huff and puff, but they just don't have that quality at the end. There's only 1 or 2 players that's got it. And Doof is their striker, and he's just not good enough for the Premier League. When it's instinct, i.e. the ball drops and he's got to do something, he's okay. But as soon as you give him the ball in possession, he just loses all sense of what he's meant to be doing. Gonzo, Nick touched on it there about Shaqiri. You've touched on it. Are they sort of a one-man danger team, or is that a bit harsh?
No, it's not harsh. We don't have to sit here and be pleasant to everybody, do we? We call it as it is. If they're bringing Crouch off the bench, then however old Crouch is now, then clearly they've got goal scoring issues. In fact, I'd probably say that was one of the major differences between the two teams, that we have goals in us and they don't have goals in them, which is why they're down the bottom, because people who can't score goals are always going to struggle, really. So as well as they may have laboured against Tottenham and against Arsenal, if they can't put the ball in the back of the net, then they are going to struggle. And if you are relying on one player to score your goals, and he's not a striker, then even the best will in the world, a number 10. What's the best number 10 going to score? You want 10 goals a season if you're lucky. That's just not going to happen. So he can't score enough goals to keep them out the danger zone. That's for sure. So yeah, perhaps they are a one-man team. Of course, they got Jesse Rodriguez from Real Madrid in the summer, and he looked like he was going to be Arnautovic's replacement. And he started really well. He may even have scored in his first couple of games. He looked like it was wise business, actually, them selling Arnautovic and getting Rodriguez in, but he seems to have disappeared off the face of the earth. So certainly a one-man team for me at the moment.
Yeah, he's been banished from the team. I think he's gone AWOL, actually. He's just not turned up to training. And Said Berahino has also been disciplined in England under 23s for turning up late. And there's another couple of players. Peters, I think, has been disciplined before the Everton game. He was out on the lash or something and missed the curfew. They've got real discipline issues in that squad. Nick, did they sack Mark Hughes too late? Because Paul Lambert might have been uninspiring, but he's got that defence sorted out. I think he's got that defence sorted. But the problem is he doesn't have enough time. Do you think they think that's the big problem, getting rid of Sparky too late?
Yeah, I do. I do think they got rid of they kept hold of Sparky too long. Yeah. They should have put Husey. What's his name? I've just forgotten his name now. Lambert could have gelled a bit more. I don't think they'd have been in so much as a position they're in now if they'd done that. But yeah, they just kept hold of him too late. I do feel for Stoke a little bit. I went up there the away game, when they forgot to pay the electric bill, and I think that was Stoke, weren't it? They didn't. They turned all the lights off for us. Yeah, I think you're right. I think if they kept on, if they'd had him a bit sooner, I think they would have been all right. But Arnie's going to be happy. He ain't got Husey there in front of him. You know what I mean? So what do you do? You know what I mean? It's one of them, mate. They're okay. You know what I mean? It's too late for him now. Do you know what I mean? They can't turn back time. So yeah, they did hold on to him too long, Sparky, and they thought he'd get him out of the mire, and he didn't. So,
Gonzo, is it too late for them? They're 4 points off Crystal Palace as it stands. 5 games to go, including R1. Is it sort of curtains if they lose, or?
Yeah, the fixtures aren't great. I think Palace's run seems a little bit better, actually. I think everybody down there, I don't want to speak like we're not involved in it, so I don't want to say all of them, but I think they're all relying on Huddersfield. If they are going to get out of it, maybe Southampton, Stoke, West Brom are gone, as we know. They rely on Huddersfield, and I've said before, I just think their running is a bit horrendous, actually. Huddersfield looks really bad. Moyes was talking about 40 points today. I think 35 might actually do it. I'm not saying you would bank on 35. Don't get me wrong, you'd want to get 37, 38. But I think 35 might just do it. And I can't even see them getting that. So, yeah, I would... sorry to say, they're down.
Usually, once team does stay up, I bet if you go back to the last 10 seasons in the Premier League, who was in the bottom 3 on match day 30 and who actually went down, I'd imagine more than half of them, there's at least one side that goes on this miraculous run and stays up and defies odds. Nick, could that be Stoke City this year, or do you think it's?
I think it could be Stoke, to be honest. I like to say I actually look at their team and I think they shouldn't be where they are, really. And I think they could do it, to be honest. So Palace are still in the shit, aren't they? I think Palace is still down there. Who else? I can't remember. Swansea and West Brom, innit?
Huddersfield as well. Huddersfield. Yeah, I sort of look at that as well.
Yeah, they've been on free fall, haven't they, Huddersfield? I'd like Stoke to stay up. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I would like Stoke to stay up, and but I think I don't know. No, I think there's worse teams than them. Do you know what I mean? I just look at their fixtures though, and it worries me because they've got Burnley, Liverpool. They've got Palace, who are going to that's the clincher for them, isn't it? They've got Palace on 5th of May. At Stoke, and then they've got Swansea away, and I think Swansea will be buried by then. So no, I think Stoke are going to just scrape out of it. Yeah.
Well, enough about the team in the bottom three. Let's talk about the team that's moving away from the bottom three, which is our side. A little bit of team news. Creswell looks like he's fine after his knock against Chelsea. He's okay for Monday night. And Ginge, Andy Carroll, and Lanzini are all in full training and in contention for Monday night. Gonzo, simple question. Would you make any changes from the back five or the middle two that played against Chelsea?
Who do you class as middle two? Are you talking about Noble and Kiate?
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe I wouldn't. It's easy to knock Kiate with the old Kiate knocking stick, for want of a better phrase. But he will run around a lot. He will close down. I would make a change or two, but I don't think it would be from the defensive area or those. No.
So the first 8 players in your team, Gonzo, you'd keep the same.
Yeah.
We'll speak about the front three in a minute. Nick, what about yourself? Would you keep the back 8 the same as well that faced Chelsea and Southampton?
I think I would, to be honest. Yeah, I think I would. I definitely wouldn't, put in the. Evra didn't start, did he, against Chelsea?
No.
I'd maybe start Evra and take in Krez, like you say, Krezzy's not 100%, as it were. You know what I mean? They say is he full back training now?
Yeah.
I think I'd maybe start with Evra, but that would be the only chance. Hart, Rice, Bonner, Evra, Zabaleta, Coyote. Noble, yeah, just about. And then Masuzaki, I can't say his name, Arthur. But it's the front. It's for me the big talker point's the front part. What's he going to do with the donkey Carroll? Is he going to bung him in, or is he going to go with the old, Mexican man himself? Well,
we'll speak about that in a second. I will keep the same back 8 as well, if you like. I think they've done nothing wrong against Chelsea. I thought they were fantastic against. So I think Kiati was fantastic against Southampton. I think that's important because this is a very similar game, if you like, to what we faced against Southampton a few weeks ago. But Gonzo, the front three, this is the talking points, and Arvic is one of them. Who are you putting in alongside him, and who are you putting in behind him?
Okay, so are you classing Fernandez as one of the? What are you classing Fernandez as?
Well, basically, I'm trying to say that Fernandez and Mario's positions.
Yeah, they're gone. They're gone. They're gone for me. I will bring in Lanzini and Hernandez. Let's remember that whilst the job was done against Chelsea, it was Chelsea away, a Champions League team, albeit they might be out of it, a Champions League team that can afford to buy the best players in the world. This is a relegation rival. And I've already alluded to the fact that we can score goals and they can't. One of the reasons we can score goals is Javier Hernandez. So he comes back in. I also think that Lanzini, although we had a bit of a love-in with Mario, Lanzini is dynamic, very dynamic. He runs around a lot. He moves around a lot. He stretches defences. We know he links well with Arnautovic as well. And just in terms of how many assists and how many goals he's got for us in the 3 seasons he's been with us, I would say he was the more reliable option than Mario. So yeah, Arnautovic and Lanzini maybe just behind Hernandez and get the ball forward a lot. As I say, they don't dominate possession, Stoke. So if we can have possession, we need to put the ball in the back of the net.
What about yourself, Nick? Would you be bringing in Hernandez and Lanzini in place for Mario and Fernandez?
I totally agree with Gonzo on that. I would. I'd put Lanzini and Hernandez on. Mario, I like Mario, to be honest. I still think he's got something. It depends how bad Lanzini was. He's come back for his knee, hasn't he? If there is a little bit of doubt there, then I would go with Mario and Hernandez. But no, I would. Given the choice, Lanzini hands down with Hernandez. Hernandez deserves his start. I hope he does get it. I really do. I know there's rumours of Carroll coming on. There's all sorts, but I like Hernandez. That goal was cracking. He showed what he is. He's a goal scorer. He needs to be in that box, get the ball to him, and that was a class goal. Do you know what I mean? We can't be overlooking him all the time. It just reminds me when West Ham, we got a history of overlooking world-class players. and it bugs me. We did it with Uzi, did it with old Tevez and Mascherano. You know what I mean? And you think, fucking hell. You know, Hernandez, he's world class. He's a quality player. You know, bang him in. You know, start him, but don't have him up there on their own. Have plenty of support for him, and he'll bang them in all day long. Do you know what I mean? So, for me, yeah, I would go with Gonzo, unless Lanzini is a slight doubt on his knee. Because let's be honest, you know, Shawcross and Martins and all that are going to hit him hard. So, you know, maybe, you know, we don't start with him. I don't know. You know, but given the choice, if he's 100%, we'll have Lanzini. You know what I mean? Lanzini all the way on that.
Yeah, I'm going with you too. Hernandez has to be one of the first names on the team sheet for me for this one. We're not going to get much chances against Stoke. Their position, you have to, I think for this one, you have to ignore almost everything. You have to ignore form. You have to ignore league position going into this game, because this is going to be sort of cup final attitude for them. This is do or die. And I think with Mario, anyone that watches this channel, and Gonzo will tell you I'm a big fan of Mario, but he cannot play in a physical game. When the game gets physical, he sort of shies away a little bit. And Joe Allen's probably the worst opponent he could come up against on Monday night, because he will just not let him move. He will be on him and he'll be chasing everything. He'll go through him. Allen's one of the best slide tacklers in the Premier League. It's not so much something that you see much of these days, because fouls are almost, if you do a slide tackle and you get it slightly wrong, it's a booking these days in the Premier League. But Joe Allen's one of those players that have still mastered that technique of old. And if he goes through Mario, he'll go hiding. Lanzini's got a little bit more bouncing off players about him, if that makes sense. If you go through him, you'll just get up again and go back at it. But Hernandez has to start. He has to. And it's going to have a small impact on the crowd before they go in the ground, if they see Hernandez starting or not. If not, if it's Mario and Lanzini, which I don't think we've seen work together yet with both of them in the same team, that's going to cause an issue. Gonzo, Andy Carroll's maybe back. He might be on the bench or something. Are you looking forward to seeing him back in the squad at all? I mean, so far plan B has been Hernandez, but if Hernandez is on the pitch, it's been Jordan Hugo, who we've not seen yet. So would it be a bit better to have Andy Carroll on there if things aren't going great?
Well, do I think Andy Carroll is better than Jordan Hugo? Yes, I would concede that. However, I'm not a fan. I think he's done very little for us, actually. And I do think if we're relying on Andy Carroll coming on and we are banging trouble, then it's not gone very well against Stoke at all. I hope we don't see him at all. That's not what I want to. I do not want to see us lumping balls in there in the hope that we can snatch a victory at home against Stoke. It would be terrible if that happens. I'd rather not see Carroll play for West Ham again. I just don't think it's just not really worked out very well for both parties. So I just hope we can get safe without having to use him with Arnie and Lanzini and Hernandez and all those other guys, and then hopefully we can remain safe in the Premier League and start planning for a life without Andy Carroll. And then he's injured. He's always been injured since he's joined us. It's always going to remain us. That's my opinions on him, really.
I still like Andy Carroll. I'm still an Andy Carroll fan. I don't want to see him start, but I think having him on the bench is the best thing a manager can have. But the problem is it depends on your manager. And our manager, I think Andy Carroll's David Moyes' Achilles heel in a way that he's a bit Sam Allardyce, and he just has to get Carroll on the pitch. Even if we're winning, it'd be I need to get Carroll on so I can get the ball up. And that's the only issue. But in terms of generalization, who do you want on the bench? I think Carroll's a fantastic option to have. And if the game ain't going well, there's no one better to put on and get him up against a Stoke centre or any team centre backs and get him battering them. Betway, our charity bet this weekend, it won last weekend. The one this weekend is 6-1. It's West Ham to win, under 3.5 goals. Stoke just don't concede many under Paul Lambert. Their defence is good. The last 3 Premier League games have been drawn at half-time and they've gone on to lose. It will be tight on Monday, I think. Arnautovic should score against his former club and Stoke to get 2 cards or more. Nick, are you confident for Monday night?
I am, to be honest. And I think Carroll should be on the bench. I think if he comes on, if it's 0-0, he'll bang 2 goals in. I don't like him, but he will score 2 goals. You know what I mean? He'll come on, then he'll get injured and he'll be fucked off for another 2 months. You know what I mean? But he will come on and do the business. So I'd have him on. I am very confident, mate. We should get all 3 points. We're on a relative high for us. You know what I mean? the crowds are, at West Ham, we've always been on side if they give 100%. Now they're going to have to give 100% against a Stoke team who are going to come out, who are going to give 100% because it is do or die for them. So as long as we match them for commitment and challenges, like you mentioned, Alan, I love him. I'd love him to play for us. I'll be honest with you. I like him. Always have done. As long as they show the 100%, we'll get behind them. We'll get an easy. I think we'll win quite easily. I think it'll be 2-3-0. I see Arnie scoring. He loves playing Stoke. You know what I mean? We'll see Arnie scoring, and it'll be hopefully Hernandez another couple. You know what I mean? It'll be 3-0.
West Ham this season, only 5 times actually we've played someone below us in the league when the game kicks off. It's only 5 games. It's quite low, but we're unbeaten in them 5. Won 4 of them, drawn 1 of them. The one draw came against Crystal Palace. Gonzo, can you see us maintaining that lovely statistic? Are you confident?
I am confident for all the reasons that I said, particularly we've just faced Chelsea. Shaqiri and Alan might form a little decent partnership, but they can be better than Hazard and William and Fabregas and people like that. It's just not going to be. So I think we will be able to contain them. As I say, I think they struggle to score goals. I think our Rice is getting better with every game. Bonner looks commanding and composed. Joe Hart will be feeling better and more confident about himself as well. And as I say, when I looked at their team and I started picking out players, it didn't take me long to realise that they're all central players. I do think they struggle. But anybody, any recognised quality out wide. And I think that is, you can't just have 2 players in the middle of the field and expect to open teams up, particularly a team who sit as deep and have as many defenders as we do. So with that, I think we're defensively, we should be okay. And I think we've got goals in us, so I am confident.
I'm confident we won't lose. I am very confident we won't lose. It's just a question of can we break Stoke down? But at some point in the game, even if it's 0-0 and the game's ongoing, at some point, the pressure's going to be on Paul Lambert here to go get the 3 points. While it'll be on David Moyes to an extent, he can afford to come out of this with a draw, knowing that we're still pretty safe and we've just probably pushed Stoke a little bit closer to the Championship. A point's not enough for Stoke City anymore. Stoke have to get 3 points from here. I actually think with 20 minutes to go, if it is a draw, I think Stoke would actually be better off just going hell for leather and try and win the game and actually come out with a defeat than accepting a point. Because I don't think a point isn't enough for them. 4 games to go and they could be 5, 6, 7 points off 17. It's not good enough. They need to go for the win. Pressure's on Lambert here. And it's probably one of the first games that Moyes is going into that's not against a top 6 club where the pressure is on the other manager. It's usually on Moyes. And we could see a change. I think it's going to be a tight game. I think it's going to be a hard game. I think Stoke's attitude is going to be a lot different to Chelsea's. While they don't have the good players, I think their passion, their work ethic is going to be a lot different. It's going to be a cup final for them. But before we get your predictions, you two get your scores in your heads. If you want to win the Antonio shirt on your screen right now or in a few seconds, there'll be a cup of tea with me and Gonzo. Click on that, and all you have to do is comment below in that video, just something, anything will do, and you'll get entered in. It's signed by Michael Antonio as well, and we'll pick the winner at the end of the season or 8,000 subscribers, whichever comes first. Nick, crosshammers.com. What's your score prediction, please? You said 2-0 or 3-0. You're having to pick one.
3-0.
3-0.
3-0 all day. Yeah, 3-0. I can just see it. Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to fold after a little while. We'll break them down, and we'll get 3-0 victory. Like I say, I think the Chelsea's done a lot for our team morale now. You know what I mean? And it'll be 1-0 half time, and then they'll bang 2 in the second.
Well, I'll take that as long as Arnautovic scores and Stoke get 2 cards, because that means the bet wins. Gonzo, what's your score prediction?
Yeah, I was going to go for the similar sort of thing. I do think we'll win handsomely and win well. You talk about a pressure thing. I think, looked at the table earlier. I think Stoke could win 10-0 against us. But they could win 10-0 against us and they'd still be in the bottom 3. That's how detached they have become. And that pressure's going to tell if they're going to be nervous. All right. So, and I do think that will tell. I do think the momentum will be with us. And I'm going to go with what Nick said. I'm going to go with 3-0.
3-0. Well, I'm going to go for, is Arnautovic scoring for you, Gonzo?
He's scoring for all of us, mate, not just for me.
Well, as long as Stoke get 2 cards in your prediction, the bet wins for you as well. And the bet wins for me as well, obviously. I'm going to go for 1-0 West Ham. I think we'll win. I think we'll just do it. I think it's going to be a lot tighter than them 2. though. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Check out Nick's website at chaoshammers.com. Comment to our forum at hammerschat.com. You're welcome to the boats on Monday night before the game. The link is in the description. The gates open at 5 p.m. So come down for a beer and a barbecue before heading into the game. Subscribe if you're new. Drop your comments below. Let us know what team you would like to see. All three of us are picking the same 11, which is very rare.
What's your prediction?
1-0.
Okay.
1-0. West Ham, obviously. Anyway, catch you in a bit.